it took me 40 years to figure out the message that service was the way. And I want to get into it because you talk about it in your book. But like, it took me a while because, you know, in my teens and 20s and even in my 30s, it was about me, me, me. You know, I was basically the hedge fund manager guy. So I'm kind of amazed that you could be open-minded to that, because I'm sure a lot of your peers were thinking the same kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I really owe that to the teachers. And that's what I mean, Brian, with what I was saying about your show and what you're doing and what I'm trying to do is that if you don't experience compassion, you won't really believe it exists. And the only way you experience compassion is if you sit in the presence of someone who has unlimited compassion. And so I feel like when you're growing up, you're surrounded by people who have an addiction to wealth, or you're surrounded by people who have an addiction to laziness, or you're surrounded by people who have an obsession or an absorption with status and power. And so all you're experiencing is that experience. And all of a sudden, when you throw and again, it doesn't have to be a monk. It could be anyone who shows you this, right? It's not specifically to do with being a monk. But when you meet a monk who's embodying love and compassion and mastery of the mind, you all of a sudden start experiencing it and you go, oh, it's possible, it exists, like you feel it. And I think that's what, there's a beautiful statement by, I believe it's from St. Francis. And he says that, you should preach all day. You should preach all day. And sometimes you should open your mouth. and it's that belief that, the energy is contained in someone's presence and the way they live their life, even without opening their mouth or ever saying anything.